Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, I just did my morning wake up routine, which I'd like to do, which is put on some music, which was Kylie Minogue and Sophie Ellis-Bextor's new single, which was really fucking groovy. I think it's good to stretch out in the mornings. Although I wouldn't put it on TikTok anymore. No, I never put it on. I did a few things, but it's actually just I was doing rehab, serious rehab, and I still am. I don't know what all of you were doing, but this morning I thought I'm also having nicotine gum because that's like my cigarette. I'm not gonna lie, I would still like a cigarette. This just will make me die less early. And a coffee, a fucking huge whopping coffee with ice in it, not meth, frozen water. So now that we've got all the fundamental things done, as I warm up with the little bit of sun that's coming through, I thought I'd talk about the things that I don't have that the West Australian does have, or that any West Australian journalists have and that I don't have, because I was forced into defensive independent journalism, which is a new category in the world. Basically, if you feel like your media is at odds with the core principles of your country, you get to say, hey, I'm a defensive independent journalist. Like that. Not the Elon Musk one. Hey, stop right now, thank you very much. Like the Spice Girls song, I'm an independent journalist and I need that. So now, being that, this online repository here is like my diary, because it just is. Otherwise, my phone would be full. And thankfully, Mark Zuckerberg created this online diary that I could write in. But because it's journalism, because it's like important stuff, I made it live all the time, so you could always look at it. Now, I suppose I could compile all of these things and write a book, and I may do. Actually, I think I could probably do that just this morning if I just got an AI to just skim through it and say, hey, write me out a bloody book, would you? Give me a bloody book printed from all those years of work there. Could you do that? And it would. It literally would. And then I would take that book around to all the publishers and figure out which one of them had the biggest balls. I'd be like, I'm not selling my book. I'm seeing global competition of which publisher in the world has the biggest balls. And then we go through a process of what's called editing. Now, comes to the first thing that I don't have. So I haven't got a gigantic printing press with robotic fucking things. Weird little side note, the West Australian newspaper, when I was a child and we went there on an excursion for school, in a West Australian school up in the hills, was the first place I ever saw robots being used really to do something. They moved all those big rolls of paper around. So it's not surprising that they also resorted to this robotic journalism. I guess they were trapped within their own efficient cycle. But now we're at a problem where I'm declaring war in England, in specific regions, to declare the betrayal of previous citizens still under their... It's a big world that we live in. And so the fact that I've been put in the box because I may say the F word too much, or I may speak passionately under duress with the horror that I see around me is just unedited content, you'll see. Or it's fine. We just realise that we're in a crazy situation. But the thing I need is an editor. And I haven't got one, and I can't do it. I don't have an editor in here. Well, I do. But he's drunk. I don't drink, but the editor in my head is drunk. And that's usually the case with people that are in this situation. So that's why they have editors. Otherwise, they wouldn't. It's like, righto. I want to see a direct log from all of your journalists. That's the other alternative. On the internet, every one of your journalists has to keep a vlog, and then they get to print their paper. Or I have to have a job at the West Australian. It's fucking crazy, and you just have to pay me actual dinars, or dollaroos, or V-bucks, whatever it is. Or is it odds? AUDs. Ords. You have to pay me ords. And then I'll keep writing for the West Australian. But unless you pay me ords, I'm not going to keep writing for the West Australian. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to declare war on that small little town. Or is it a town, or is it a region in England? And that's fucked. And that will be all your fault, and Albo's fault as well. Now let's think about other things I haven't got. I haven't got a degree. Oh, shit. I've had to learn everything independently from different sources and confirm those sources. That sounds like journalism. Fuck, it's almost like a journalism degree would actually make you eligible to actually be a journalist in this period of time. Isn't that a bucking doozy? Lucky Albo's going to give you some money back for all that education you went, that higher education. We've also got to stop calling it higher education, and we've got to call it just like grade 3. Grade 3 education, not higher education. You're not highly educated, more highly educated. More highly educated. You finished grade 3. I went and studied independently. How was grade 3? How was it? Was it fun? Was there totally like tons of drinking and dancing and drug taking? Cool. Yeah, that's why I gave it a miss. I personally had a family and pursued other means of education. So yeah. But grade 3 is cool though. Yeah. It's cool that you get to play with all your friends and play fun games. I like that. I would never for a second want to, disrupt any of the grade 3ers out there that are having their best life. Welcome to 2025 second semester. What else don't I have? Oh, because I don't have that other money, I haven't got a salary because this was voluntary. That's right, this was voluntary work. Voluntary defensive journalism. Wow. I mean, a lot of times I've regretted the fact that I've called it voluntary because it means that I, in fact, don't need to be paid. I just kind of assumed that someone would pay me at some point because of all the defensive journalism, but I guess you got to crack your own eggs in this world, and so I'm going to be like fucking oops, editor, can you cut that out please? I just got a bit passionately embroiled in the subject matter. Please don't let it reflect on the fact that I skipped grade 3 because I was studying and building a business and being a father as well. I think being a father is probably the best category. To be like, did you do grade 3? No, I was a father. Oh, okay. Wow, cool. Wow, that's really heavy, man. Yeah. It's really really heavy. There's 3 of them, and their combined weight is probably upwards of 200 and something kilograms. And then to add to that, there is, like, really at this stage maybe 2 other people's children that I've also contributed fathering to. So fuck me, they're all really heavy. It's maybe 300 kilos at least, I think. I'm not saying anything about their weight. They're all quite healthy weight and things like that, but just there's 5 of them all up now. So yeah, I mean, I'm halfway through. Like, if I put them all in a classroom, that'd almost be a classroom. Hence the need to self-educate myself away from the grade 3 curriculum. Yeah, so money. Because I wasn't paid, this just made everything hard, but not impossible. I survived with gruel that my mother supplied for me, which was lovely, and sometimes some other things that weren't gruel. Now, in her defense, I did only request gruel because I didn't want anyone to think that the person locked in the shed writing to save his life was greedy or had ambitions of anything above cleaning out toilets or something like that, because that would have, I don't know, it would have led to more chit chat around, like he just keeps spending all these things. And in fact, even with the gruel and the small little treats on top, there was also some of that. But yeah, I never received any government money, because that would have made it too easy. And I didn't want it to be easy. I wanted it to reflect like a real situation. And it was, in fact, physically and nourishingly. That's why I don't look like an emaciated skeleton. That isn't the catch cry for a refugee or for a concentration camp member. Really, I'd say that would be having their children taken off them and having their business sabotaged and having their reputation, all those things. The fact that I had food, which was just basically gruel. Yes, I am never in any point saying that I wasn't adequately fed. Which I think is a funny place to start. Especially by like all the immigrants that participated. There was a Polish woman, there's a couple of Irish guys. They're all like, yeah, well, we fed him. I know we stole his fucking shit and his children and his fucking thing, but we fed him. You know? We didn't personally. His mother fed him while he was in that situation. And that's where, despite all the things I say about my mother, you should probably all thank her, because I think I would have gone to England and just fucking gone ham. I could have raised a fucking hideous army and marched on fucking Dublin and flattened it, held Conor McGregor's head above the castle and gone, nobody, no man in the world shall call himself Irish forever again. And then hissed. I think there would have been hissing. So I put it all in words, harmless, beautiful, spoken words that can then be later on typed out, potentially even printed on a big fucking Gutenberg. So yeah, money made it difficult because it meant, like, eventually my car got repossessed. I didn't even have money really for fuel, except for the fuel card that my mother gave me, which was pretty handy to go down and do the community service that my children's mother gave me. But eventually that ran out, and so I had no way to do any of my work. Plus I was rehabbing my body from crazy stuff, and this is where I noticed all these crazy physical things about my body, that it worked way better in a different way, and that I'd actually been impaired by all the providing that I'd done. Like, I did all this providing for my children, and that impaired me way a lot. It impaired me a lot. Like, say I took all my 3 young children, who were all teenagers, and I'd made them do like they're like, hey guys, you guys are all physically at the top of your game. It's like, I've had 20 years of severe degradation because of brain injury and because of physical labor and grueling hours behind the wheel to provide for you. And then I had to hide myself and do some defensive journalism to escape your mother claiming that I don't ever and never have done anything. And everybody agreed. That's called a slave. That's called a slave. There's nothing else that's ever been called. It's always been called a slave. And yeah, that's what it was. I didn't do the slaving. I didn't do the slaving bit, but you all did the slaver bit. So that was wacky as well. Hence the if you try and turn your government into a slavery institution in 2025 with fucking TikTok and the internet and Instagram and all this shit, and yeah, and the world is watching, especially some of the places that still get a bad rap for slavery. Yeah, fuck. That's gonna be bad. And it's already out. All the notes are already out. They're held by people that kind of hold in promise to my family trust and estate. It's weird. Like, they have access to that if perpetually used in the best interests of my family trusts and my beneficiaries of that, and my estate, which is my children and my paternal line, heading down the eldest son, all that jazz. I suppose because the Queen changed it, it will be eldest whoever, which that's cool as well. I just happen to have an oldest son. Yeah, it's weird what a patriarchal fucking steady firm system does. It doesn't make slavery, literally, provably. Wilberforce was from the same little sleepy little town called England that my family's from, and I'm not saying I'm anywhere near him, but he was a bit of a cool cat in historical terms. So yeah, the money made it a bit stressful, but that was just kind of like, it was like one of these retreats that all these influencers go on about. It was just real. It didn't cost $20,000 to go and have a retreat. That's bullshit. Money. Oh, access. Access is a funny one because I have access. Because I can speak and I can, present. I had some clothes, whatever, I could go and do things. But I didn't feel like access was really an option because it's, because of the whole mass cohesion towards lynching me in the streets if I spoke ill against your fucking cult. So I will admit, that was in my own head, that access issue, but when compared to people from the West Australian that had access and weren't being publicly called to be lynched in the streets, I'd say they had the upper hand there. Let me think, what else? Stationery. I used my phone and I just didn't use stationery. They didn't even send me a little care package of stationery in the mail. Hey Shannon, you're contributing a lot to our newspaper. Thank you so much. Here are some lovely pens and paper. No, they didn't do that at all. What else do they have? Oh, this is one of the things as well. If we can try and aim to get out of some type of really crazy conflict where we have slaves and concentration camps and invasions and viruses and biological weapons and all this fucking crazy shit. Like, that's all crazy shit. I can kind of envision a time when we're out of that in the future. One thing that I would like as a journalist, out of the defensive capacity, out of the defensive journalist position, perhaps, fingers crossed, praying to baby Jesus and to God himself, that maybe one day I won't be a defensive journalist, but I thought it would be cool to have direction every now and then. Imagine that. Believe it or not, I actually love direction. Even if it was shit, even if someone's like, there's this cat haven that keeps stealing cats and then blackmailing fucking their owners. It's like this weird little low-level organised crime syndicate. And I'll be like, yep, send me down there. I'd put the fucking, what do? They put the thing in their hat. And then they get their little pen and paper and they go and write all the things. Oh, I'd be bloody good at that. I'd be just really fabulous. Down there doing all that investigative community level journalism or whatever. Or you could send me to the big boys. Send me straight into Woodside. Straight in there. It's like, Woodside, I'd like to have a hot chat to you about your polluting that I know nothing about. I haven't heard anything. Nothing at all. BHP, very little. I don't know. I'm sure you guys are pretty above board with most of your things, considering you get so much attention. It's just the bloody big sign that brings in all the fucking third graders to wave signs around in front of the buildings. No, I think there's a whole lot of kind of mid-tier, lower-level industrial manufacturing outlets that are causing a whole lot more pollution per capita, or per man, or per whatever, as whatever will be filled in later on by the editor, or by the editor. But yeah, this mid-level manufacturing cohort that seems to have arrived on boats and is manufacturing away in our regions across Western Australia. I'd say that's a pretty good place to start doing some journalism. Perhaps we can bring up some previous examples of radical misuse and mistreatment of the environment, hiding under the cloak of their small size and obscure location. But, see, I'd self-direct there because I'm used to it. I've been doing it for so long. I know that might be a hiring stumble. He's very self-directed. He's not going to take direction well. I'd be like, want to bet? I can take direction so good. Oh my God, give me some direction. Give me some direction. And then, yeah, just send me on my way. I think that's the only way out. I think it's the only way out for the West Australian is to give me a huge salary and a car and one of those cameras and a page or fucking what's it called? Give me one of them. And then give me an editor to bleep out all the swearing. I pretty much already bleep out a lot of the swearing now, if you've noticed. And then I guess everyone can go and get fucked. We have to be there. There's no way about it. There's no two ways about it. Not even 3 ways about it. It's got to be done. Just sack one of your third graders and give me the job before everybody stops reading your newspaper. See, this is the thing about the West Australian, and I promised I can't even remember his name. Who owns the West Australian? West Track? Oh God, that's annoying. No, I've completely gone blank. Kerry Stokes owns it, doesn't he? Yeah, I promised Kerry. I said, Kerry, stick with me, mate, and I'll salvage your little fucking rag and I'll turn it into a fucking behemoth. And he did. He did stick with me. And so now he owes me a job. Because I just want a job. I just want to be like all of you. Yeah, I want to live in the fucking system of fucking bullshit. And I want to just get my wage and spend it all. Yeah, the fact that I've declared that that wage is now 10,000 times lower than everyone else, I don't care. I'm happy to live amongst you. You don't need to worry about the fact that I may or may not have fucking a large castle somewhere else. Because I want to be here, on the ground, with the pens and pencils and the hard-hitting journalism, like that. Just like all of you are. Please, let me journalist. Please, please, Kerry. Please, 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 please. Please, Kerry. I want the journalist now. Gimme money and car. I'll be the best journalist ever in the world. Love, Shannon. See that? The gods agreed. They said, yes, Shannon, it shall be so. You shall be a journalist for the West Australian, and you shall confuse everybody. In one foul swoop, you shall dive in and fly in your hang glider. And graciously, instead of raping and beheading people, you shall graciously just hop into your new car and send your facsimile straight to Western Australian headquarters, and they shall print the pages high, they shall print the stacks high. Your words shall be distributed, edited, and formatted for easier consumption to the general public. They shall be in print, and you shall live forever